Let us review what we have so far and go over the things that you need to complete using this prototype program as a starting point of your work. Well, first of all, here in the comments, we'll already have a section that says that explains what this prototype already does. It does the search and prints matching text fragments between two strings. The rules are recognizable substrings should be 3 or more characters in length. This is simply because we have this hard coding parameter already in place, and we compare our matching substrings with it. All matches currently are case sensitive because we simply, in this if statement right here, we simply compare two characters. If they're uppercase or lowercase, if the case doesn't match, we don't have a match. So therefore, the current implementation of our program uses case-sensitive comparisons, and therefore a match between Carla and Carla, uppercase and lowercase, yields nothing, okay? And then match between all lowercase and this capitalized capitalized name Carla yields Arla, because only these parts will match, but not the first character. Okay, and finally, things you need to complete. So this is the outline. Before main execution loop, ask the user to specify the shortest acceptable match. Essentially, I want you to have the user specify this value. Maybe they want 5 or 10, who knows? So this is a parameter that can be changed and participate, like add flexibility to what this algorithm does. So we'll use it as, so I want you to ask the user to specify the shortest match and indicate the default value. So basically, the default value means that if the user enters an empty string, just hit the enter key, just keep the value 3, so they don't have to type it all the time. So these are all the requirements, and you actually, you cannot ignore it, but at some point you need to implement this functionality. The second thing to do is the prototype of this homework simply asks for two strings, checks for matches, prints the results, and exits. So modify the code so that the program executes repeatedly in the endless loop. So the prototype simply is just the smallest version of the code, but I want you to go back to this other demo logic where we had an endless loop, and so you you can repeat the inputs and test the program with multiple inputs. Since these two strings are simply hard-coded, you also need to go back and ask the user to enter the first string. And likewise, of course, you need to go and ask the user for the second string. And in any of these occasions, if they enter an empty string, I want you to exit this outer loop, right? As soon as you, or this endless loop that you will create to make the program run consistently. So I want you to just exit the loop, print goodbye, and exit the program, right? So that's the idea. And so regardless whether it's a first string or second string that they enter an empty string, just exit the program gracefully, and this will be indication that the user wants to stop running this endless loop. Add the code to check if the user has entered a question mark. Okay, so if they just type a question mark, then in any of these substrings, print some sort of helpful message. Just explain what the program does very briefly, just a very like one-line explanation, and tell them what they're supposed to enter, and let them continue to try again, right? And so this is also the requirement. And finally, the last step is that the current implementation, as we mentioned already, is case sensitive, right? So because it compares only characters based on their actual case. And so you need to modify the program to allow case insensitive matches. The clue to this modification is that one approach, you can just convert both strings to lowercase or to uppercase. And this actually would be my choice because, you can say it's case insensitive type of algorithm, and you keep everything lowercase, and then convert everything to lowercase. Okay. The second approach would be to convert the individual characters right here, both of them, just to convert to lowercase. Of course, in our online textbook, we have this discussion about strings and characters and explanation how would you convert characters and strings to lowercase. Okay, so that can be done either here or in preparation. Just as soon as they enter the strings, you accept their input, just convert these two strings to lowercase. Either solution would work just fine. And so this is the last part. And then again, when you report a match between like lowercase Carla and uppercase Carla, then what you print doesn't matter. You can print lowercase result, uppercase result, it really doesn't matter. And likewise with capitalized letters and everything, you can just basically print the result as Carla, and so forth. Doesn't matter in any case. Just print it and indicate that you have a match. So this concludes our overview of this section of the code. As you can see, there are lots of plenty of room to use loops. Here we have the two inner loops, and you will add another loop to create this endless loop to allow the user to repeat this work as long as they'd like. This really focuses us on the function of the if statement conditions and the while, the functioning of while loops.